So this Ajax build will make all content in the first Descendant trivial. You can solo hard mode bosses easily and even take on the hardest challenge in a hard mode interception mission while all modifiers are active. Also, this only takes 2 crystallization catalysts, which you can get from completing the bunny quest and from progressing the main campaign itself. You can get energy activators, but best that you save it for Ultimate Ajax, as it would be much better since the Ultimate version is way cooler than the vanilla variant. Although the module setup is already enough to solo everything, I will also share with you what modules I'm planning to add soon and what other stuff I will get to improve this build further. This build is literally unkillable, and in fact you would want enemies to get your health at least 50% so you can get more damage, and this allows you to make a couple of mistakes with Ajax and even face tank enemies in the game. The only scenario wherein you'll die is when the game decides to help enemies by making you experience silly bugs like this. By the way, this bug occurred when I tried to grapple the Devourer while I had the mid-air maneuvering module for my grapple hook. Before we get into the build, I would like to share how you can properly use your abilities. Now, many will say that his first ability is just used for defending frontal attacks, but they don't tell you that it's a great DPS also, especially used in some enemy attacks that have damage over time. Take, for example, the attack of the Devourer, wherein he will shoot a deadly toxic attack that will damage you over time. You can block this with Orbiter Barrier, and the Devourer attack will stick on the ability, causing it to reflect massive damage over time to the boss. His next ability is satisfying if you can land it, and it does stun enemies for a couple seconds. The only problem though is that it needs a bit of practice to perfectly land the ability against multiple enemies. This is great for clearing mobs in hard mode, or even killing those adds in the boss fights. The area can be expanded by range modules, but I don't focus on this yet. The same goes for his third ability. The range of the knockback and the number of enemies hit with its damage can be improved by range module, but I will add it later. This is also good for clearing mobs and adds, but I am mostly focusing now on this Descendant's first and fourth ability. Aside from his first ability, Ajax also got his Hypercube ability, which will create a dome that will protect you from all outside attacks. The dome is really helpful, especially in boss fights, as it allows your team to get cozy inside the ability and deal the most damage as you can. Now, he also has a passive which increases all his abilities. Somehow, you will need to cast at least 3 abilities to stack the Void Energy passive that grants bonus to your abilities. When you cast his first ability with full Void Energy, then it will increase the reflect damage. For his second ability, it will grant a leap enhancement effect. For its third ability, it will increase its range and base damage. And finally, the best part is his final ability that grants firearm attack and explosive attack bonuses while shooting your guns inside the bubble. The bonus firearm attack bonus is great in lower levels, especially if you are progressing through the campaign of the game, but it's not needed once you have defeated the Devourer hard mode. The build I was using before the Devourer is just like this, and it would give me around 9,000 health with 38,000 defense. I have solo killed the hard mode Devourer with the Tamer and Ajax setup, and what I did was just to use Ajax's fourth and first ability to block some of the damage, and I just DPS the boss with my Tamer. The good thing about this Descendant is he has insanely good defense and health that allows you to fully utilize a mental focus Tamer. This will allow you to face tank the boss and dish out high damage with the machine gun, and will allow you to clear any boss until Devourer hard mode. Once you kill the hard mode Devourer, it's time to upgrade again, and you will get some of the best items for Ajax to move forward. The first one is the Body Enhancement skill module that removes the Void Energy passive and gives you extra shield and defense instead based on how much max health you have in your build. As I have said, Void Energy is great in campaign progression, but it would be not that important if you are in hard mode and already hitting 300,000 to 500,000 DPS in your weapon. The most useless module here is the Energy Collection module, as I just equipped it just to get all module slot occupied. Aside from the skill module, you'll also get one of the best external component sets in the game in hard mode Devourer, named the Annihilation set. This increases Ajax survivability, and he will get an additional 26% firearm bonus damage when you're at 50% health. And by the way, playing this build with half the health value is no issue at all. Even in hard mode, you will in fact love enemies chipping your health so you get more firearm bonuses for your guns. The only problem with this set is that MP recovery is botched, and you will need to rely on those blue drops that will restore your energy. For the reactor, just literally use anything, as it doesn't matter. You can use that reactor that gives you high damage for your second and third abilities so you can clear trash mobs easily. Aside from the base bonus stats that these external components give, I am also grinding the hard mode Devourer to farm better copies of each Annihilation external components. I am planning to farm the hell out of this hard mode boss until I get a decent health or defense roll in each components as much as possible. This is because I'm also planning to use this components with other Descendants to somehow get 50,000 defense on their build and 10,000 health. Remember that other other Descendants don't have the luxury of getting high health values because they don't have high base def and don't have the skill module as body enhancement. 10,000 health with 50,000 defense is my goal, since this is enough to tank most of the content in hard mode. In case you don't know, 50,000 defense gives you about 60% damage reduction, and I have learned this by using a formula that I saw in the first Descendant subreddit. So far, this is the most accurate information I have gotten and tested it out in both normal and hard mode, and the formula does work exactly as mentioned. I know I can't have 10,000 health values and 50,000 defense on all Descendant, but I'm planning to at least get close to these values. So far, the memory components are the ones that dropping defense stats for the Annihilation set, but I will try to farm it more to see if the other components will have defense values. Now, you could be wondering why I added shield values to my module setup. This is because defense does affect shield, giving you more survivability. However, the damage reduction to shield is not the same as the damage reduction to health based on my experience. Health damage reduction when you have high defense will be better, but the shield will also help, especially if you have 9,000 shield values achievable by this module and the body enhancement skill module. This is not only a survivability setup though, but I added shield because I'm planning to set this build up with the overwhelming HP module that converts shield values into health. If I can finally farm this, then possibly I can add insane health values to my Ajax, which makes the Annihilation set more effective. Finally, I would also want to talk about elemental resistance not added into my build. During my campaign progression, I have elemental resist since these are the modules only available for me to increase my survivability somehow. However, it seems like the best way to survive is increasing your defense to at least 50,000 and dumping all the survivability in your health values. Elemental resistance doesn't do a lot, especially in hard mode bosses, and no matter how high I get my elemental resistance against specific hard mode bosses, high defense values still provides better survivability compared to making a balanced build between defense and elemental resistance. I will definitely update this build later, but for now, this is by far the best build for this Descendant, especially for those players who are playing solo. By the way, Void Intercept bosses are best killed in solo mode as they are at weakened state, meaning they do less damage and their health and damage scaling is lower compared to a full team. With the Ajax build I have shown, you can easily breeze all the content of this game. Now, the rest of the video is just a showcase of how insane the survivability of this Ajax build is. Be sure to check back later as I will give you an update once I have farmed the overwhelming HP module. Before leaving, we humbly ask that you like and share this video to help us with the algorithm, and please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more of the first Descendant content from us. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again in our next video. Squad Leader, signing off.
The space-time fabric of the void is extremely illogical.
Out! Deploy barrier. Shields. Loading. I'll stop them. Reload. Loading. Shields are offline. Watch out! Shield. Watch out! Damn it! Critical damage detected. Out! I'll stop them. Reload. Get behind me. Loading. Shields are offline. Loading. Deploy max barrier! Enemy projectile. We cannot back down.